Hello, it's Darren Buckley here from Cornwall Chamber of Commerce. We're here to talk about Planet C, and I've got a guest here today with me called Scott James from Ward Williams Associates. Planet C is a huge event happening right now. We're into the month of September, and we've got lots and lots of events. And Ward Williams Associates have been very kindly our headline sponsor for one of those events, which is on the 14th of September at the ESAM building, which is near St Austell. So if you haven't registered yet, please register for that and come along and listen to what Scott and his team have got to say. So, Scott, welcome to Cornwall Chamber podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Planet C, and again, thank you for sponsoring being our headline sponsor for that event.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Really appreciate it. So, Ward Williams Associates, who are they? What do they do?
Yep. So we're project and cost managers, based out of Cornwall originally, for over 40 years ago now, and have expanded to actually cover the whole breadth of the country. We've got 7 offices, over 140 staff. And excited to be working on some really impressive projects across the public and private sector at the moment in the UK. Yeah,
and I've seen that. I looked at the website a few days ago, and you've got some huge projects going on, not just only in this county, but right across the country. So it's a huge organisation, and we're also glad that you're our business partners as well, and do a lot of work with us. And Andy Snapes is also on our board of directors as well. So it's great to have that association and that collaboration with Ward Williams. So, like I said, I'd like you to talk to us a little bit about some of the awards you've won, because you're in the news left, right and centre at the moment for winning this and winning that. So tell the people who are listening what you've won so far.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. Like I said, over 40 years of kind of development of the business from a small scale practice into something really of a national impact. And we've been really fortunate in the last couple of years that the great team that we've developed has been successful with 2 big awards in particular. So one's an accreditation called B Corporation status. Yeah. So we were the first chartered surveyors in the world to receive that, something which is really quite significant, something I'm very proud of. And what that is all about is about how we as a business operate sustainably across the breadth of what we do. So the term ESG is bandied around quite a lot, environmental, social and governance. Yep. And B Corporation basically verifies that at a globally accredited status. Yep. So like I said, first in the world for that, and we're also fortunate to be co-chair of the UK Built Environment Working Group of B Corp. So we're really driving the way, not just in how projects are delivered sustainably, but how businesses are operated, how staff can grow and develop and make the most of their career as well. So really, really impressive standing for us there in that respect. And the second award was a bit like the cherry on the icing on the cake, which is a cake delivered at Buckingham Palace in that extent, which is the Queen's Award for Sustainable Development. The Queen's Award for Enterprise has a sustainable development theme, and we've been recognised at that. So we carry the crest, the Queen's emblem, for the next few years, something which we're incredibly proud of. It's a real honour to have that.
Well, it is. It's amazing, isn't it? Like I've said in a lot of podcasts, there's a lot of businesses, here in Cornwall, and I know yours is, an organisation which covers the length and breadth of this country. But to win those sort of awards, it's a great thing to shout about and be proud of, like you said.
Absolutely.
And being the first, to be B Corp as well. So that was absolutely amazing. So I'm really, really pleased. So I want to go on to talk about Planet C. Planet C is, me and Kim come up with the idea, early in this year. And we thought, after the G7 and COP26, I think Cornwall needs to be leaders rather than followers. And, so for you, why Planet C? Why would you like to, to get your message across in Planet C?
Yeah, I like that, leaders rather than followers. And I think Cornwall's always had a great pedigree in sustainability. But I think we need to collectively, in Cornwall and in our sector, in the built environment as well, be doers and not talkers. And I think that's the next step. Yeah. And that's something which we're really keen on in Ward Williams Associates. So we're really keen to help drive that, both working with Cornwall Chamber of Commerce, the likes of the Constructing Excellence Forum as well in Cornwall that's looking to drive these agendas forward. Yes. And Planet C itself, the way it's set up for the day, we're really excited about it because it's covering the full breadth of the future of the built environment, from place shaping and how towns can be reimagined and repurposed. Yes. Given the decline of towns over the last few years, and Cornwall suffering from that as much as anywhere else in the country, right through to carbon, really important in terms of 39% of the emissions in the world come from the built environment and construction.
39%? Wow.
39% of carbon emissions. If we address that within our sector, we significantly address the global challenge. So how do we do that? And again, not talk about that, but implement change meaningfully and do that in Cornwall. Yeah. So that's something that's really important to us. how we repurpose buildings. So the town centre is a little bit of that, but how we retrofit is a new phrase that's being used more and more often. So how do we retrofit buildings to be fit for the next generation and not design buildings that are fit for 40 years? We need to have buildings that are fit for 200 and 300 years. We need to get them like they always have been in terms of Victorian buildings and so on.
Exactly.
Make them truly sustainable. And then thinking a bit more broadly as well, how do we bring in the likes of biodiversity and the circular economy, these things that are talked about in terms of actually being more holistic in the built environment. We aren't building buildings for the sake of it. We're actually part of a wider society. Yes. So how do we do that? And at Ward Williams Associates, we're very keen to ensure the breadth of that thinking is built into our projects for our clients to deliver properly on time, on budget, and to the best quality.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing, and again, we talked in the green room with regards to some of the projects you're working on, and the future of the built environment is going to be the ESAM building. So, how did that come about, the ESAM building, and what a success that is?
So, the ESAM building itself is fantastic. So, it's an asset for small-scale industrial, commercial premises and clients to grow, to develop their capacity. It's a brilliant location, near to the main roads, near to Eden, the Garden Village. St Austell has a growing kind of vibrant town, which again has got its own plans as well. So there's a lot going on in that area. So we're proud to work with Cornwall Council on that particular project. But it's an interesting location because you look out from the window at ESAM and around the whole area. Yes. Everything that we're going to be talking about will be showcased and delivered in that area itself. Wow. So perfect location.
Oh, it certainly is, and I've been there several times, and what a great structure it is. It definitely dominates the sky then when you get to the top of the hill there and you see that building. Yeah. But it's another great project. Ward Williams Associates are doing there, and it's. The event itself, we're so looking forward to it, the future of the built environment. Like you said already, there's lots of, people speaking on the day. There's lots of, workshops and, panel discussions. Yeah. But I think, that event is going to really showcase what Cornwall's all about. I know Ward Williams is, covers the length and breadth of this country, but the work you're doing here within Cornwall is amazing. We've already talked about ESAM, but there's other projects you're working on, right now. And have you got any of those coming to fruition at the moment, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the ones we're most proud of recently, which has been the Hall for Cornwall project in Truro, in the centre of Truro. So I'd urge anybody who hasn't actually been yet to either see it, just as a tour, effectively, or to go and even better, to go and see a show. Yes. What an amazing asset that is for Cornwall. Yeah, yeah. And so it's projects like that we absolutely love working on because they're almost like a catalyst for growth in towns, So Truro is a kind of cultural centre for the whole of Cornwall, and it will benefit significantly from that great project. Yeah. But across the country, other iconic schemes that we've worked on over recent past, the Box in Plymouth, which is an incredible archive centre and museum in the centre of Plymouth, revitalising that area of Plymouth, and one which the surfers amongst the Cornish contingent and around the country would love, the Wave project in Bristol, which is quite stunning.
Is it? I've not seen it yet. So
well, you need to get your wetsuit on and get out there because we went in December as a staff, Christmas do. It was 5 degrees the water then, so I'd go when it's a little bit warmer. Yeah. But what an incredible project, an inland surf destination where people of all abilities can learn to surf and engage with the water and so on. So we're proud to be involved in projects like that.
Yeah, and some huge projects, And again, I'm always fascinated about, as I already said, businesses here in Cornwall, what the work they're doing in here. I come across businesses all the time. Like I said to you in the green room, Bots, I came across them a little while ago. Didn't realise, they're doing some great things up there, in Bude. So we do come across these businesses all the time. So, it's been great to speak to you today. We're so looking forward to the event itself on the day, on the 14th of September. We really want to, while you're on the podcast, really want to thank Ward Williams Associates for being our headline sponsors. We really appreciate the support you've given us at the Chamber. And without businesses like you, we wouldn't be here, as a Cornwall Chamber of Commerce. And these events, need those sponsors because we've had to pay for buildings and catering and so on and so forth. But we really appreciate what you've done for us and really supported us, and even being a business partner as well. And also Andy Snake's been on the board of directors as well at the Chamber of Commerce. So we really, work very collaboratively, together. So, what are you looking to get out of that event at the end of the day?
I think it's going back to that initial comments that we said about it's moving from talking about the great ideas and opportunities and the way forward, and get out away from the philosophy of it into the doing of it. And it's just to really kind of just to acknowledge the great businesses we've got attending that event. So we've got UK leaders in Cornwall, really. Yes. So we've got the likes of Kenza from their kind of geothermal and their heat pumps that they work on at a kind of a wide scale. How can they help decarbonise the heat? They're going to be talking.
Yes.
We've got coastline housing, we've got Trevef, we've got a number of other different housing developers that are talking from a client perspective about how they want to enforce change in the sector and really drive that forward.
Yes.
We've got brilliant architects and engineers like Stride Treglown and Hawley talking about the design process and how we decarbonise construction and design. It's something we all want, and they'll be talking about it.
Yes.
And hopefully we can also, most importantly, and Cornwall's very good at this, start to collaborate and do things better.
Yes.
And so, as our company at Ward Williams Associates and others I know that are attending this, we're very much keen to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, as you've just said, there's a lot of Cornwall Chamber businesses here now who are actually collaborating very, very well. We're doing some work with Wildernet, for example, who are collaborating, really well with us. The event itself is a whole day. It's a whole day of events. We have got lunch and got a bit of breakfast and a bit of lunch there as well. So that's fantastic. So if you want to come along to the event, please register now. We've got some, good attendance already. But the whole day of event, it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning and we'll finish roughly around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So pop along, come to the ESAM building, have a look around, look at what Ward Williams have come up with at the ESAM building and come meet, Scott. He'll be there on the day, he'll be speaking, he'll have a panel discussion and so on and so forth. So we're looking forward to that. And I'll be hosting the event as well, so I'm looking forward to that because Kim's away. But thanks for today. Thanks for coming in and doing this podcast. Really appreciate, again, your support with regards to being the headline sponsor. And look out for this. We'll have this out on the podcast very, very shortly. So thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, Scott.
Much appreciated.
See you soon.
Cheers.
Thank you.